All right, so the shirt says it all. Demo day. That's what we're starting today. We have a kitchen and a living room that are kind of semi-separate, but we're going to make it all blend. So it's going to start with getting rid of this cabinet and putting in a floor-to-ceiling cabinet that will house the wall oven. Now the wall oven is currently over here, actually in the wall, but the reason it's leaving is because we're knocking this wall out to open the whole space up. But it starts with this video of this cabinet. I'll show you how to do it. I started going through my inventory of old doors, mistakes made on previous cabinet builds, and I found some doors that the width of the two doors matched the width of a single drawer, and I figured I can use these together. So I built a face frame that fit the drawer face and the doors. The only other thing I had to do was look up the specs for the oven that we have. We've got a pretty old oven, and I didn't know exactly how to measure it because it's got a little bit of curve to the arch. So I just Googled the spec sheet and I made a place for the oven. Gonna have a lot of cabinetry above, a big old drawer below, because I also have a lot of extra drawer slides in my mistakes of building cabinets. So here we go. We're gonna move on to the rest of the build. The face frame is done. I built the box. I didn't want to show you all the details of that because it's building a box. But one thing that I do, one thing that I like to do with cabinet building is building the toe kick first. And this is a tip that I got from another guy on YouTube. His name is Jason Hibbs, Bourbon Moth. Of course, if you're in woodworking, you know that guy. But he showed you build the toe kick first. You can level that, and then once you set your cabinet up on top of it, well, it's already level. You don't have to shim an entire, in this case, 9-foot cabinet. So that's exactly what I did. And for this build, the toe kick is a little bit thicker and beefier than I really need it to be. But by the time I worked out the dimensions of the doors, the oven, and the drawer, the only thing left to do was just make it a little bit of a thicker toe kick, a little bit of a bigger reveal on the bottom, because that's just how the measurements worked out. And that's how it goes when you're repurposing old materials and trying to make it fit into a new space. Now what I'm doing here is putting some dominoes into just one side of this cabinet. I'm just doing this for alignment. I overbuilt the face frame a little bit to have some overhang on that side where the dominoes are going, because I'm going to screw in all the face frames from the back. I'm pocket holing each side of this cabinet, and that's just going to be what holds it all together. You can do this a lot of other ways. You can pin nail, you can dado it, you can get some lamello clips, which I used to do, but I don't build cabinets as frequently as I used to, so I got rid of that machine. So this is the way we're doing it. Dominoes on the right side just for alignment, pocket screws. Now it's time to go inside and make room for this big cabinet. Now you saw there was this piece of furniture that we've repurposed years ago. My wife and I moved it out of the way and tried to not hit our dogs. And then time to put in the toe kick. Now this is the part I was talking about. Get the toe kick level. It's good left to right, back to front. I knew it was going to be a little bit off, so it just got me a little 1/4 inch, not even about an 1/8 inch shin, and went to work. Now you see I put out this little cutout because I'm covering up a vent. I didn't want to reduce airflow. So now that everything's level, I just put pocket screws on the bottom side of this toe kick, and I'm just screwing it straight to the floor and then to the back plate of the wall. With that toe kick in place, now I just had to go to the shop and get the cabinet. So pull out my dolly, ratchet her down, put her on my shoulder, and just start wheeling out of the shop. We're leaving the wood shop. We're going through the yard. We're gonna run past the trampoline. We're gonna come up the hill. We're gonna go around the Japanese maple tree and try not to take it out, but I think I did anyways, that's all right. And then we get to the front. And I gotta slow it down, get over the ledge, gotta get it up over the next couple steps, and then we just get her in place. And at this point, I start getting a little bit of help because this thing's huge and it's not going to fit through the door without some help. So we sit her down easily, turn it on its side, and start walking her on in. Once we got it inside, eased it down, and then we set some blankets underneath the edge of it, and I just drug it through the house. Dragging this thing was like, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. And instead it was probably like, don't hit the couch or the TV and don't mess up this new cabinet. You know, that's why I don't sing, because I ain't got that impromptu voice like the YouTubers my kids are definitely watching and not helping out. But here we go, getting the cabinet in its spot. Almost ready to set it up on that toe kick, but something else we got to do first. There's an outlet behind there, and I set up my laser to where it shows the top and the right side of the laser. And then I just leave the laser engaged. It's sitting back there shining on my legs, and I just go ahead and start putting the cabinet up on the toe kick. My wife comes in, helps me out so that I don't ding the ceiling at the same time, and we just lift it into place and then slide it back. Going real nice and easy, not to crack anything, not to ding up the drywall, just to get it in place. And it's already good and level because we checked with the toe kick. Level front to back, left to right. But you know what? You always got to check. Throw the level on there. Let's see. Yep, level top to bottom. Very good. Move on to the next part, Casey. Move on. Stop looking. It's good. It's in place. Oh, my honey, she wants me to check the level again. Yep, it's good on the front. Okay. I'll check. I'll set the level on the shelf. We already checked it this direction. It's good. So we go to the laser, and it is where the outlet was. So you mark where the laser is. Mark on the vertical line, mark on the horizontal line. I pulled it out a little bit, and I went and got my Dremel and just started cutting away, making room for that outlet. Now, just to clarify, I did pull the cabinet away from the outlet. I'm not cutting right there in front of an outlet where my blade could go and zzz, but just enough so I could still see the outlet. We got her in place, and I started putting dominoes in. And this is, again, just for alignment on this side, because I know I'm going to come in from either side of the cabinet and pocket screw every bit of that face frame in place. Get my dominoes in, put my face frame up, do a good check, make sure everything is good and aligned just how I want it. There's only like 4, 5 or 6 dominoes up that side just to make sure it's aligned all the way across. Snap her in, lock it in, look at it, see if I like the fit, and then go get the side panel. Put that side panel up, make sure it's not hitting the crown on the top, because I just cut away enough crown on my house so that it could also continue to wrap around the top of the cabinet when we're done. Put that sucker in place, make sure it's good on the floor, and all thumbs up, man. It's good. With the cabinet in place, it's time to install the drawer slides. Now, the face frame on the bottom was not level with the shelf, so I had to put in a little piece of plywood to just raise it up so that it would be flush with the face frame. And then on the left side, the face frame sticks into the cabinet a little bit, so I had to bump it out. So I got a spacer and a wood block and did the same thing and just screwed it to the bottom instead. Now you might be asking yourself, what kind of drawer slides are those, Casey? And I would like to tell you, I'm glad you asked. These are Bloom undermount soft close drawer slides. Now it's time to move on to the Bloom hinges. This is a jig that I made. It's called a cam jig. So the hinge is broken down into 2 parts. The hinge itself and the cam, which is what I've installed right there on the wall. The jig that I've made makes it to where you're just putting drill holes in the place where that cam's gonna go. And the jig itself is made to be for top and for bottom, so you don't have to have 2 separate jigs. I just get these things level and put the screws in place, snap the hinge on, and look at that action. Snap on, snap off. The fine folks at Bloom make it very easy to install cabinet doors from home, even if you don't have a drill press or the fancy jig machine itself. This is called the Eco Drill, and it has 3 drill bits built into it. That's hard to say 3 times fast. Drill bits built into it. And I just drill through. It gives you a good stop point, vacuum it out, and now look how easy this hinge slides in. Slide her in, clip it down. I'll show you how I install that door in a second. We've moved on now to putting these door handles on the drawer face. Drawer handles on the drawer face. Now I'm reusing the handles that match my already existing kitchen from the island that was previously here. Now this is a handle jig. So you get your measurements on the jig. You measure it out for exactly where you want it placed, left to right and top to bottom. And it's got little eyelets in these little jigs that line up with the back of your handle. Screw them in on the side that you've measured for, and then slide the other part of the jig over to account for the width of the handle itself. Lock all of that in place, and then just transfer over to the door itself. I had to check the measurement for top to bottom too, just to get it centered in the middle of the face, not just left to right, but top to bottom. Next, we just transfer it over to the drawer face. I had to slide this notebook under there because there's a recess, 1/4 inch recess for the shaker style. So that keeps any deflection on the jig from occurring. From there, I just get my sturdy punch and go through those eyelets and punch the holes where I need to drill out for. Make sure they're centered. Drilled those holes off camera, brought the drawer face over to the cabinet and started putting it in place. Just shim the bottom, checked left to right to make sure it was good. And I like to screw through the pre-drilled holes for the handles. I do this so it stays put, stays exactly where I want, so that I can come in from the back, screw it in securely. I put a bunch of screws in, I think like 6 or 8 screws. Get it closed, pull those out, and now I can go back in, drill through those holes into the drawer box itself so that I can come back and put the handles on from the back side. This is always tricky for me because I overbuild these boxes, and then you go get the hardware for these handles, and you've got 2 sizes. You've got something that's barely over 1 inch, and then you've got something that's like 1/2 inch. Neither one of those work. So I actually had to go in here and kind of recess drill into the back of the drawer box so that the longer of those 2 screws would fit through. It barely fit through, but I got them on and she closes perfectly. Now that the drawer face is in, let me show you how easy this door goes in. Snap, snap, walk away, slow close.
Where'd the oven go? Let me show you. Popped her out, knocked out the wall. I'm gonna show you that on another video, but I'm really excited to show you the finished product. The oven is in the oven cabinet, and we got this gigantic drawer that's got a bunch of Stanley cups and lunch boxes, slow close balloon undermount slides, got places for our dishes, got stuff for paper towels. We don't know what's going here yet. Got dishes that never get used, and you can't slam it. All right, project 1 of probably 5, maybe more, done. Thanks for watching. Watch next.